The state of the vote for the President of the United States, as delivered to the President of the Senate, is as follows. The whole number of the electors appointed to vote for President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, the majority is 270. The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes. The votes for Vice President of the United States are as follows. J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio has received 312 votes. Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota has received 226 votes. This announcement of the state of the vote by the President of the Senate shall be deemed a sufficient declaration of the persons elected, President and Vice President of the United States, each for a term beginning on the 20th day of January 2025, and shall be entered together with the list of the votes on the journals of the House and the Senate. Thank you very much.
That was Kamala Harris overseeing the certification of Trump's election victory. This is making the news right now all over the place with an intense stare, a wide smile, and a simple declaration. Harris certifies her loss to Trump. This is exactly what she had to say just after the vote count certification.
Well, today was obviously a very important day, and it was about what should be the norm and what the American people should be able to take for granted, which is that one of the most important pillars of our democracy is that there will be a peaceful transfer of power. And today I did what I have done my entire career, which is take seriously the oath that I have taken many times to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, which included today performing my constitutional duties to ensure that the people of America, the voters of America, will have their votes counted, that those votes matter, and that they will determine then the outcome of an election. I do believe very strongly that America's democracy is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it. Every single person, their willingness to fight for and respect the importance of our democracy. Otherwise, it is very fragile, and it will not be able to withstand moments of crisis. And today, America's democracy stood.
Yeah, so that's her speech, basically asking for a medal for losing the election. She is basically insinuating that Donald Trump would not have done the same, that Donald Trump is trying to undermine democracy and that we should fight against it. But she is, of course, totally wrong about that one. Let's hear what the news is actually saying.
A joint session lasting just 40 minutes, Congress counting state. Tonight, in a joint session lasting just 40 minutes, Congress counting state electoral votes.
Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 30 votes for president,
certifying the sweeping election victory of President-elect Donald Trump, who takes office as the 47th commander-in-chief. As president of the Senate, Vice President Kamala Harris overseeing the certification of her own defeat.
Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
Vice President-elect J.D. Vance sitting in the front row. We spoke to Harris on the way into the ceremony.
What should people take away from today?
Democracy must be upheld by the people.
The only disruption, a snowstorm blanketing the Capitol, a stark departure from the violence 4 years ago when a mob of Trump supporters attacked the Capitol, delaying the count for hours. A deadly riot where many were also injured, including Capitol Police Sergeant Aquilino Ganell.
Many of my colleagues were injured, to the point of even losing eyes. And these are the type of people that Donald Trump and his ally are trying to pardon.
Candidate Trump regularly downplayed the violence and his role.
But that was a day of love.
And repeatedly suggested he might pardon some or all of the more than 1,200 people who pleaded guilty to or were convicted of crimes involving January 6th.
Those people have suffered long and hard, and there may be some exceptions to it. I have to look.
President Biden, who
I totally agree that it was unjust to imprison all of these people that were just manifesting and demonstrating in front of the Capitol that day. They are serving sentences in prison for basically nothing, just standing outside the Capitol, and it's sad to see.
The US Congress convened this afternoon to certify Donald Trump's election victory in November. Ordinarily, that is a formality, but of course all normal conventions were upended 4 years ago by the mob that ransacked the Capitol. There was no hint of a repeat this time. Unlike Trump 4 years ago, Kamala Harris was not disputing the result. And unlike Republicans in the aftermath of the 2020 election, Democrats made a point of not challenging the count.
The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
A much calmer, less death-defying experience for the Vice President than 4 years ago. The contrast between the two January 6 events could hardly have been starker. Not all Vice Presidents have presided over the count, and this cannot have been easy for the losing candidate. But Kamala Harris said she viewed it as a sacred obligation to the Constitution.
That's good. That's good to hear. You gotta applaud the Democrat for accepting that they lost. That's probably the best thing that they can do, honestly. Let's see what people are saying in the comments section. Best speech she ever gave. You know, this absolutely killed her. Yes, she was a sore loser. We made it too big to rig this time. Yes, Trump won by a huge margin this time around. People voted for change, ultimately. They believe that Donald Trump will do a much better job this time than President Biden did. For them, taking care of inflation, the economy, stopping illegal immigration, and bringing peace and prosperity back into the world, we will see. Being forced to declare yourself a loser must be rough. It is a good day for America. Too easy as smell rat. It looks like Kamala has been eating the bottle pretty hard. Well, we will see if Trump actually can keep all of the promises that he made during the campaign. Let's hope for the best, honestly, and we will report it all right there on this channel. So thanks for watching and staying with me to the end. I appreciate you being here as always. Click right there so that you can watch the next video, and I will see you there. Bye bye.